Greetings everyone, Andrey here with another Road 3 replay. So on the right side as the blue allies, we have Andrey 96. So on the left side as the red Soviets, we have Sinister, Carrot, Hooker. So Sinister Super Hooker? Superscript Hooker? I'm probably thinking a little bit of that too much. But you can now have the bear being plowed on field. Over here got a power plant. We may see a fast airfield. See some walls going up. And we do see fast airfield deployed on out. The bear is coming forward. He will spot the airfield. He will not be able to catch a ride. It's right now no socialists allowed in these air flights. More bears advancing forward. We got now the combat engineer eyeing for the refinery, and now the Vindicator's charging forward, trying to snipe the engineer, but the engineer's already in. You got a flak tower with some flak cannons deployed on the field. Okay, this replay must be pretty old. I think the replay set was actually from 2014, so this is a pretty old replay. It does bomb the ore collector there. That's not a good target for your... Why is there so many flak troopers? It's not a good target for your Vindicators of bomb ore collectors. It takes a lot of bomb runs, plus you can always activate your active armor to resist damage. But we've now got all this being built. Cancels that, which is probably a good idea. More bomb runs in the ore collector, not responding to all too low. Got reactors not being deployed on out, and now got a large number of flak troopers here, as well as a combat engineer as well. Not sure what the combat engineer is eyeing. He may be eyeing for this oil derrick. Right now, he's just sort of just nope. There we go. Nice running behind. The bears, one bear does get picked off by a dog. Will we see the roar in time? We do see the bark in time. We got a handful of bears advancing forward. We've got only a couple dogs here. One of the barks are off, go down. Does get one of the dogs now. Does take him out. Black troopers got the bears. Mass bark there. And multiple barks there. One of the dogs there does get stunned there. You need to start getting these dogs removed. Does get a nice roar there. Does pick off the bear there. Multiple of the dogs going down, trying to go for some mag mines, but got a lot of flak troopers going down to these Vindicators. Got a mass number of Vindicators on the field. And dogs do clean up the rest of those flak troopers. And some of these conscripts do get bitten right there. You got more conscripts being put on the field. There's a lot of Vindicators. 6 Vindicators on the floor, 3 Vindicators on the field, not 6. Blah. I am out of it today. Conscripts are advancing on forward. We do now have, looks like, a reactor and more conscripts. The conscripts can eat a lot of bombs, and now got a bomb run onto this ore collector. Does reactive armor in time, saves it, but the ore refining seed a bit of a beating. Now we've got the MCV deployed over there. Allied MCV's eyeing for its own expansion as well. The MCV did receive some of the flak trooper mag mines. And now we do got a fully automatic shotgun turret here. Reactor or refinery gets cancelled. Great bomb splits there. Got some bullfrogs on the field, but that Vindicator will go down. Only 2 of those conscripts remain, so those were excellent bomb splits. Doggo advancing to C. Trying to stop this expansion all by himself, but he will not be able to, or he's just a dog. Conscripts do get dropped on the low ground there. Does inside that garrison, very nice, and those Vindicators do escape on out there before being shot down. I'm not sure where that other Soviet comm engineer went. It may have been picked off by those dogs. The oil derrick has been cleaned by the allied player. Now got a conscript on the low ground, could get inside that garrison. Dog trying to interrupt the pathing of that ore collector. He's actually doing a patrol move, I believe. Don't know if it's better to do a patrol move or not. I don't know the interactions between dog and ore collector out at sea. But I do know that dog versus terror drone at sea means a dead dog. Conscripts, some of them men load up in the back of those bullfrogs there. We do now have, looks like the conscript does get launched towards this civilian structure, may receive a bomb, does eat a bomb there. Guardian tank, Riptides, and dogs advancing on forward. Not really a massive force to threaten bullfrogs, but not really bullfrogs can threaten this force either. He has one hammer tank on the field, make that 2. Hammer tanks are generally better on 1v1 versus Guardian tanks. Vindicators are being pushed on out, and does get some good damage there. Takes out the Terror Drone as well, takes out the Vindicator in turn. One of these hammer tanks are a bit wounded. He could use to leech down, say, the observation post instead to get some health back, or this structure up here. So VMC is now deployed out on the high ground. Maybe eyeing for another expansion. Soviet ore collector's almost destroyed. He could just go ahead and start queuing up another ore collector, and then pause it when he needs it, or unpause it until he needs it. Pause it until he needs it, and unpause it when he does need it. Does get a nice little snare there. Riptide's advancing forward. Air drone will escape on out of there. Does get some good leeching there. Desolator Strike does come forward. Melts some of those doggies. Nice Terror Drone snares there. And does get the crush on one of those Guardian tanks. Make that 2. Now there's a pair. There's actually no. None of the hammer tanks are dual wielding at the moment. Now we do have a machine gun equipped hammer tank there. The MCV received quite a bit of damage. The painted laser do quite a bit. Cause a lot of extra damage there. And does save it. He needs to get these things and not set leech beaming, because you get more damage output by not leech beaming. Guardian tanks do take out the MCV there. I'm gonna try and leech down this one. There's only one of these guys doesn't have dual wielding. Now they all have extra guns. This will give them some extra health. Now we got all of them dual wielding. Only one has a machine gun, the other one has extra cannon. This may get another dual wielding hammer tank there. Bullfrogs pushing forward. Looks like the airfield has been sold off. It was camped by those bullfrogs. He does get another kill there. Did not get the weapon onto that hammer tank. And the Terror Drone does go down. Right now, the hammer tank should maybe able to deal with these Guardian tanks. Now there's a 5th one, so maybe not so much. They're trying to leech down these forces. Does pick out that wounded one there. Does now have them all dual wielding cannons. He could just charge forward. I believe he has enough damage output to deal with those Guardian tanks. He needs to charge forward, but he will slowly be whittled down. He's not making use of those extra cannons. Now he's finding some good position there. Oh, the engineer that's inside the NCV does pop on out there. Got a Terror Drone surprise there. This Guardian takes so wounded. He does get picked off there by the Peacekeeper. Rest of these Guardian takes still in the region. Does take out that engineer. I got another snare there. Not getting a heroic. Oh, got 1 crush, 2 crush, 3 crush. And now got a fully heroic hammer tank with 2 guns. Fresh MCV now employed on the field. He does have the expansion up here and now going for a barracks. He knows that the airfield's gone, so they have to worry about aircraft for the moment. Hammer takes now push way forward, trying to leech down the multi-gunner turret there. Does get a nice little snare there. There's 3 Guardian tanks here. The Terror Drone can hold them all back, but with the repair drones nearby. Oh, got Desolator Strike coming on in. Now, oh, we do have an airfield. In fact, a Growlcopter as well. Breach down to the Terror Drone. Hammer tank's going to have trouble. Does go ahead and get the kill there. These guys will be frozen pretty quickly. He needs a Bullfrog. Bullfrog's not on field. Does lose that hammer tank there. And now do got the Bullfrog being shrunken. Need more than 1 Bullfrog per Growlcopter. I think it's supposed to well get repaired on up. One of those Guardian tanks needs a lot of attention with repairs. Now I've got 3 cryocopters in the field. Getting some flak troopers, which can be useful, but the damage output against air is not that great. Nor against ground. They're really too expensive for what they for the cost. Their mag mines only provide a slight more damage as well. Oh, I hear a mass shrink there. Guess I got one of those collectors there. Bullfrogs now trying to deal with the crowdcopters. Does get one of them gunned down. War collector already on the way. Does sell off the armor facility there. Not sure why he would sell that off. He must be eyeing for something big. That's not something big. Is that going to be a spy? No peacekeepers. Currently down this observation post there. Let's get some good shrinks there. Now cryo blast there. Will pass the fresh flak trooper there. Yes, he does. I've got a sizable force here setting on up, gathering up forces. Let's see now. Got a good amount of infantry for both sides, but that cryo shot now on cooldown. He doesn't have to worry about that for the time being. Desolator Strike can still be called on in. I believe it's off cooldown, or getting pretty close to off cooldown. Got a good number of peacekeepers here, but there's a good number of units that can take those on. Does get mass shrinkage there. He does have both flak troops up engage those crowdcopters. Probably enough there to deal with all those crowdcopters quickly. There's some bullfrogs there, shrinks down a bunch of more forces there. Those shrink rays recharge far too quickly, don't they? Almost all of his vehicles are completely shrunken. I saw something right there, like the flash symbol. Let's get a good kill there with the Desolator airstrike, getting a couple of the infantry. Trying to leech down the Multi-gun turret there. Does get it destroyed there. Desolator airstrike is almost worn off. Let's get some shrinks there. And that corpse is now actually going away. Something Bear's not getting frozen there. Very nice. Bear's pushing way forward. They could go for some roars. Let's get some good roars on those peacekeepers, but not a whole lot of them. Power shot has been put on cooldown. He does largely avoid it. Receives some freeze effects there, but nothing a whole lot. Black troops in phase 4 gets good shots there onto these guardian tanks. Still, the majority of his hammer tanks are shrunken, so he can't push forward. And shrinks down even more of them now. Some of them not being unshrunken. They can start trying going for crush order. I think he needs to turn off leech beam current rate. Another round shrinking coming forward. He does not have any bullfrogs. There we go. Got bullfrogs on the low ground. Gets good fire support on the low ground. Barracks does go down there. Minor loss. We also got a naval yard here. He could try sending forward some stingray or to harass the base. But right now, the Soviet players still on 4 refineries. The Allied players on 3. Around the barrack, can be forced fire the ground to swipe the air. Like his own little shadow boxing, I guess. HP is pushing forward, trying to collect up some health from the observation post. Observation post being not shrunken, being still being leached down, but down to half health, a little over it. Conscript on the low ground, firing some shots to the high ground. Cryo shot maybe getting off cooldown. Okay, now he has extra cryo blast, almost off cooldown. Desolator strike is fully available sooner. Some of the flak ships starting to go down. Guardian is trying to charge him forward. There's just so many shrink rays here. They can't just get a crush off. There's a lot of infantry here. He's probably stalling out for the crowd for Desolator Strike at the moment. Still having trouble dealing with those Cryocopters. Cryocopters eyeing for a shrink on the Apocalypse Tanks now. The Apocalypse Tanks are not a good option against those Cryocopters. Cryocopters basically nullify any tier 3 that the opponents may deploy out. But V4s does get a good cluster warhead there. Apocalypse Tanks fades forward. This one does not get shrunken down, getting some massive crushes out there. War Factor does go down. Of course, there is the Super Reactor. He's starting to torch down. It could be backfire onto him if he gets too close. I think it's too close. Does lose some of his infantry there. Some of the nearby walls also went down there. And now the Soak players low on power. Battle Lab does get overwhelmed. Now this firing is starting to go on down. We do have some Dreadnoughts, Elite Dreadnought out on the field. Desolator Strike should be nearly off cooldown, right? Oh, he doesn't have his MCV anymore now, does he? So he can't bring in Desolator Strike. Cluster Missile, get a great barrage there. Got a Veteran and Elite D4s. He's on Force Fire the ground, I believe, trying to predictably aim where his opponents will be at. Getting some damage there, but the heroic ones will heal themselves and stay alive. Bullfrog's now advancing to support the Dreadnought. More of the naval or expansion starting to go on down. Bullfrogs does ward away those Cryocopters there. He does still have a naval yard here, so he can deploy another MCV. I think that's on the build queue. He does still have one expansion on the field, as well as the oil barrack for income. The allied player has one refinery as well, and does get fully heroic there. So now he can use sacrificial launchers and gets health regen. Fires some missiles, trying to these Riptides, but the Riptide's overrunning him. He may want to pause the MCV and go for a Stingray. Multiple Riptides now hitting that Dreadnought. These V4s out on land could potentially get some good hits there onto those Riptides out at sea. There's some strings there. Bullfrogs all have been shrunken. Cluster missiles do largely miss there. Riptide's now trying to eye for those Bullfrogs. They do leave behind the Dreadnought. Throws down whatever that was. Trying to get some hits there on these forces. Get some good hits there onto the Cryocopters, but they all go down. And see if he's most fully built out, and now the Dreadnought's going to receive some more torpedo hits from those Riptides. Rolls a miss there, and doesn't actually get finished off right there. Misses that one as well, and does lose the Dreadnought. Now got the Soviet MCV advancing onto land. Crowd will get in now on the field, does freeze down a heroic hammer tank there. And now here comes a magnetic singularity, as well as Desolator Strike. Desolator Strike was casting perhaps a little bit too far back. Some shrinkage there. We've got the Bullfrog advance forward, getting some damage there onto these Cryocopters, but he does have access to repairs here. NCV has now been spotted. We've got two fully heroic Riptides there. We've got some V4s still for the Soviet player, and that frozen hammer tank does get unfrozen. More of these infantry units are being walked into the desolation. Bullfrog still not shrunken. Soviet players trying to deploy out something. He's deploying out another expansion, another war factory over here. He needs more Bullfrogs, that's for sure. And now the MCV is starting to be frozen down. Bullfrogs advancing out to the high ground. The Navy Yard has gone down. The MCVs right now is chilled. Conscript trying to do some work. You may just want to push forward this ground army. The Crowdcopter's not hitting over this Forcer. Does destroy the NCV there. Gets a good cluster missile there on the infantry. Bullfrog does get frozen down there because you need more than one Bullfrog per Crowdcopter. And a lot of this force is now being destroyed. Crowdcopter's pushing me forward. They're oh so wounded, but there's simply no Bullfrogs out in the field yet. Does take out that Crowdcopter there. Large number of these Crowdcopters are wounded. They could fall back to some healing. Now we've got the Soviet armor advancing forward once again. Still need some more Bullfrogs. And that engineer does get frozen. It looks like he packed the MCV to avoid that engineer. D4s do fire some missiles there. As they've been trucking down, the damage output does get greatly reduced before those missiles land. Lockstein's gain some damage there and do get shrunken once again. Unable to get any sort of damage out because they keep on getting shrunken. Crowd getting out being blown in the field, but this horse is small and mobile. This one time he can always stand to get a couple more Bullfrogs and then go for a bunch of sickles. D4 is firing off the missiles, cluster missiles raining on him once again. Gets a good damage there. Brings down the Bullfrogs once again. One Bullfrog gets shot up by the Riptide. Bullfrogs getting some damage there onto those Crowdcopter. A number of those Bullfrogs holding down, and actually it's a flak tower. Fresh Soviet MCV fans forward. He may just need to go charge it forward. Does get shrunken. Now starting to get frozen. Pocket sinks fans forward. Hamkings needs to go for some crushes. D4 is going for crush as well. There's crushed the majority of the infantry, but doesn't get all of them. Pocket tanks still have one are unshrunken now. V4s does get some crushes there as well. Conscript does not fire his main gun there. And now there's Magnetic Singularity. And we'll go ahead and grab himself all those Javelin Troopers there. So something like Elite or Heroic Peacekeeper and Bullfrog or Riptide there. And Desolator Trick does come forward, taking out that single Peacekeeper. That's leaving us a single Heroic Riptide there. Got a spare Prospector here. Only Crowdcopter's being blown on the field. There's a flak tower here. He may just need to start gunning down the flak tower. I think the Soviet player will pull it ahead, but now this naval expansion will start getting hit. It's down to 1,000 credits. Not a whole lot of credits remaining on that one. This one is depleted. This is now down to 250 credits. It does get a snare there on that Riptide. He's going to go swing wide with that Terror Drone. Could cancel that Super Reactor. He can't really be affording a Super Reactor at the moment. Some Crowdcopters now deployed on out. Got a single Peacekeeper on the field. And we've got level 3 satellites, I believe, being brought on in. Quite a bit of overkill there. Get some damage on his own refinery, but against Crowdcopters, they're either alive or dead. There's no real in between. MCV trying to be frozen down once again. Bullfrogs advancing forward. We got a bear here. Get some damage there onto those Crowdcopters now. Does get the roar off the Peacekeeper, and now Peacekeeper will go down. He has a good number of Bullfrogs to escort. The Allied player is down to minimal credits left. I think the Allied player does not have enough economy to going. He needs out a barracks and to pull out some Peacekeepers. He may need to sell off the power plant. Oh, sells off the... He's going to rely everything on a single conscript now. That's a little bit bold, so he's going to have to heavily rely on the single conscript to kill off everything. And there's the magnetic singularity now becoming in that peacekeeper will have to run away. It does get the observation post there. An airfield will be a good idea if you can afford it. Getting out at least 1 MiG would be very, very good. Shrinks down the majority of those bullfrogs. Now they're pursued. Does get one of the bullfrogs there. Does avoid with some of the bombs there. This one bullfrog does get frozen, the big one, and does not take out that crowd copter just yet. It should go down relatively shortly. Nope, does retarget there. Perfect. This peacekeeper needs to be crushed as that's a vital asset for the allied player. In fact, he probably needs to solve the power plant to get out another peacekeeper. He simply does not have enough money income to warrant the inconvenience by the slowed down construction. And that conscript does go down, or peacekeeper does go down. There is a peacekeeper there. Interesting. Does shoot the terror drone. This airstrike comes on forward, which will do some significant amount of damage to the prospector. May get out. Actually, no. It looks like he will get out damage. Now, MiGs supply on the field, taking out all these crowdcopters. And prospector's about ready to go down as well to the Desolate airstrike. And there we go. And that's the end of the game. This is Andrey saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.